A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a recent controversy, U.S. Vice President JD Vance has found himself at the center of a political storm following remarks made during an interview with Fox News host Sean Hannity. Vance's comments regarding a proposed European peacekeeping force in Ukraine sparked outrage among British and French politicians, veterans, and the general public. The vice president suggested that an economic agreement with Ukraine, as sought by former President Donald Trump, would serve as a more effective security guarantee than deploying 20,000 troops from a country that hasn't engaged in warfare for decades. This assertion was perceived as a slight against the United Kingdom and France, both of which have committed to sending troops as part of a peacekeeping effort in Ukraine. In an attempt to clarify his statements, Vance took to social media, asserting that it was absurdly dishonest to interpret his comments as a critique of British and French military contributions. He emphasized that he did not mention either country specifically and acknowledged their historical partnership with the U.S. in conflicts over the past 2 decades. However, the backlash was swift and fierce, with numerous politicians and veterans from both nations expressing their indignation. They argued that Vance's remarks dishonored the memory of the hundreds of troops who sacrificed their lives alongside U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. French President Emmanuel Macron's Renaissance Party responded to the controversy on social media, stating that the sacrifices made by French and British soldiers fighting terrorism alongside U.S. troops deserved respect rather than disdain from the American vice president. In the UK, Conservative MP Ben Obispejekti, a veteran of both Iraq and Afghanistan, condemned Vance's comments as unacceptable, citing the vice president's own experiences as a Marine Corps journalist in Iraq, where he implied he was fortunate to avoid direct combat. Johnny Mercer, another British veteran and former junior defense minister, did not hold back, labeling Vance a clown for his remarks. The criticism continued to mount as Vance's comments coincided with a tense moment in U.S.-Ukraine relations. Just days before, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had visited the White House, only to leave without signing a crucial minerals deal, amid accusations that Trump was sidelining both Kyiv and European allies in favor of direct negotiations with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Vance's remarks drew attention to the broader implications of U.S. foreign policy and its relationships with allies, particularly in the context of ongoing conflicts. His comments were made as the U.S. paused military aid to Ukraine, further complicating the situation. During his interview, Vance stated, "The very best security guarantee is to give Americans economic upside in the future of Ukraine," suggesting that financial interests could offer better protection than military presence. British opposition politicians were quick to criticize Vance's stance, with Shadow Defense Secretary James Cartledge highlighting the sacrifices made by British and French forces alongside the U.S. in Afghanistan. Cartledge described Vance's comments as deeply disrespectful and called for a more nuanced understanding of the contributions made by Allied troops. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch attempted to downplay the situation, suggesting that reactions to Vance's comments were overly animated and that he did not label Britain a random country. However, the sentiment among many veterans and politicians remained one of outrage. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage also weighed in, asserting that Vance was wrong in his assessment of British military contributions. Liberal Democrat defense spokesperson Helen Maguire, a former Royal Military Police captain, urged the UK ambassador to the US to demand an apology from Vance, arguing that his comments erased the sacrifices made by British troops. She emphasized that such remarks were not only disrespectful but also historically inaccurate. As the controversy unfolded, Downing Street declined to comment on whether Prime Minister Rishi Sunak found Vance's remarks insulting but expressed admiration for the service of British troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. The UK has a long history of military cooperation with the US, having joined the invasion of Afghanistan in 2001 and the Iraq War in 2003, with thousands of British personnel deployed in both conflicts. In the wake of this incident, many are left questioning the future of US-European relations, particularly in the context of ongoing conflicts and the need for cohesive strategies to address global security challenges. Vance's comments highlight the delicate balance of diplomacy and the importance of acknowledging the sacrifices made by allied nations in pursuit of shared goals. As the situation continues to develop, the implications of Vance's remarks will likely resonate in political discussions for some time to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.